this video. Thank you. I'm still a little hoarse. It happens every time this year. I have had to raise my voice. That's the only thing that gets Sammy to hear me in the middle of their playtime, because still short intervals and separating them. But it's going well. We're going to see how this little break goes. So I'm not just testing the algorithm by using my phone, but I'm also testing my little buddies. Now, we're going to talk about statues again, strange occult-like statues in our reality. And we're going to focus mainly on newer ones, but we will get into the older ones as well. We're looking at the humanoid ones, the ones that look like human or maybe something in between or something altogether other, like a chimera type thing. So just to see how much of the spirit realm is manifesting and bleeding into our physical realm at this time. What you're looking at here, this guy, and I'm trying to hide certain things, so if I move the camera and stuff, that's why. This guy is called Damien with a bowl. He's done by Damien Horst. For the longest time, I thought that was his skull right there, but it's actually a series, an underwater series, devoted to the marine kingdom, if you will, if I may be so bold. And I think I saw his head, and it's not what I pictured at all, but it does follow along in line with some of these demonic characters that they show, like the Dream Stalker series that we did with the kind of bald head and the long tongues and the demon-like, and they're always doing these faces, like Kiss, to drinking my coffee. I apologize for that, but you get what I'm saying. So I have some information pulled up here. Let's get right to it. I don't want to be too long. I want to give the dogs time to be good, but also not too much time. They both had really long walks. Excuse me. So I was hoping, sit down, Toby. Lay down. Lay down. We're seeing if we can just kind of take a break together and if they can be in my room together, because on Saturday nights, I have them all. His dad is at work late, so he'll have to be in here. So this is kind of practice, if you will. That's why I'm doing it this way. So Demon with the Bowl. Let's take a look at what we can find out. This is actually from, let's see. Can we go to, I do have a link, an article pulled up, because what's interesting about this is that they are constantly moving these occult-like statues and presentations even. They're constantly moving them about. And the places that they go are, I find them intriguing. And it makes my mind go to, like, are they doing rituals around these things? Like we saw at CERN, the one that was supposed to be a hoax. So, Greenwich Peninsula, Demon with the Bowl. Now this is the large-scale bronze sculpture as part of Damien Hirst's Treasures from the Wreck of the Unbelievable. And again, it's devoted to, like, the Marine Life Kingdom series. Its first exhibit was in 2017. So again, that's the year that everything kind of started to go sideways. A lot of us have agreed on right after that first eclipse. And now for a lot of people, the second eclipse, they're starting to notice things too. So it's quite an interesting time to be alive. That's why we're looking at some of this to understand, where are we? What is our true history? What are we doing here? And what's going on with all this occult stuff? So it says it is the second largest bronze statue next to, next to the Statue of Liberty worldwide. So let's see if we can pull up some bullet points, and then we'll go over the link that I have. It was the centerpiece of Hearst's 2017 exhibit in Venice, which told a fictional story of a shipwrecked art collection. I find that interesting because when I tell you who this guy is based on, you're not going to believe it. You won't be able to relate the two. When I dug a little deeper and I found out the demon that he's based on, they also call that a fictional character. But that's, again, about perspective. A lot of people don't think that who it is fictional, and it is a demonic figure. But anyways, it's 60 feet or 18 meters. There's the 6, right? It was famously installed in the pool area, get this, of the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas. Again, something to do with my personal testimony. It's in a Stephen King book where the Antichrist of the Stand is based. It's his home base, if you will. So Vegas is really big to the Antichrist spirit. I'm not sure why, but if you look at the Las Vegas sphere too, they have a lot of things that are angelic based, but we might think they look demonic, but with all the eyes and things and the wings and this, that, and the other. And over the last several years, a lot of video games have been devoted to the concept of fallen angels. So you have a lot of myths and mythology meeting, and it's manifesting and bleeding out into our world. So he was the centerpiece of that exhibit. It says the 60-foot version is at the Palms Casino in Las Vegas. Another version was installed in London on the Greenwich Peninsula. And again, just like the first piece that we spoke of with the giant coming up out of the ground, again, you have another one of these occult-like statues based near water, okay? And water is really big in missing 4112, which I'm convinced some of those cases are occult in nature. The design is a headless, colossal, musculous figure with gaping jaws, holding a bowl, inspired by William Blake's The Ghost of Flea. Now, we can look at that, but I want to dig into something else, so just give me a minute. It's made of bronze. It appears to be ancient, and it's encrusted with marine life. If you look, he's got barnacles all over him, and his spine is really wicked. I don't know if I'm able to do any of this while I'm live, but if I change the picture in the background, if anyone knows if I can do that, let me know. If you see this, let me know, and I'll show you his back. His spine is very mechanical looking on one point, and on another point very alien looking, right? And a lot of underwater life is alien to us here on land. The meaning, the bowl within demon's hand is interpreted as a symbol of ritual, their word, not mine, offering, or guardianship. I find that terminology interesting as well. The scale and cost, it's 18 meters tall. It's so large it required removing the roof of a venue for its initial installation in Venice, which is here. This is Venice. This gave us the best view of the statue. The ones near the peninsula weren't so great for a background like this, and I couldn't have covered that discreetly. You're okay. We're almost done. So he's doing really good so far. And he is doing really good, but it's not dinner time. And like I said, they both had really long walks. Now, it said it was reportedly listed for around $14 million. Oh my gosh, that is nothing to sneeze at, especially for modern art. Usually things have to age a bit to accrue that kind of value. So I find that interesting as well. Now, what I'd like to look into real quick, if you give me a moment. It is based on Pazuzu. I didn't know that. Those two don't seem to go together, but Pazuzu is the demonic, Wikipedia says, fictional figure from the movie The Exorcist. But if you go back further, the exorcist grabbed it from Akkadian or Mesopotamian or even Sumerian hierarchy of demons. So it's an ancient Mesopotamian religion, Pazuzu, and it gives you the Akkadian and the Romanized, is a demonic deity who was well known to the Babylonians and Assyrians throughout the first millennium. He is shown with a rather canine face, abnormally bulging eyes, a scaly body, a snake-headed private area, which is interesting, the talons of a bird, and usually wings, which makes me think of the Anunnaki depictions, and he was believed to be the son of the god Hanbi. He was usually regarded as evil, but he could also sometimes be a beneficent, or I would say benevolent, entity who protected against the winds bearing pestilence, and he was thought to be able to force the demoness Lamashu, his rival, back to the underworld. Amulets bearing his image were positioned in dwellings to protect infants from Lamashu. I find that interesting because, again, it's a marine life demonic statue that we're looking at. So I don't know if that was an error somewhere or what, but it says that he was based on Pazuzu. So now I'm going to take you to a link. It's called Secret London. It says a monumental Damien Horst sculpture has landed in Greenwich. Leave me alone. Sorry, ads. London is positively heaving with public art. Now, again, it's the location where they put it. It's on the peninsula. In Damien Hirst, again, the name Damien is the name of the Antichrist figure who starts out as a child in the movie, oh geez, now I can't even think of it. The Omen, right? So Damien Hirst, let's look into him really quickly and see what we can find out. I decided to wait to do that so I could be surprised with you guys, digging into this a little bit. I like to do that for a research sake. It shows I'm doing my due diligence. So Damien Hirst was born June 7th, 1965, 6'7". He is an English artist and art collector. He doesn't look like I pictured him, but he's the typical, again, somebody in the club. He was one of the young British artists who dominated the art scene in the 90s in the UK. He is reportedly the UK's richest living artist, with his wealth, oh my gosh, estimated at US $384 million in the 2020 Sunday Times Rich List. During his 90s, his career was closely linked to the collector Charles Saatchi, spelled with two A's. There again, we have wrong spellings in their names. It says, death is a central theme in Hirst's works. He became famous for a series of artwork in which dead animals are preserved, sometimes having been diseased in formaldehyde. That's lovely. What does it matter? He was a good boy. He was a good boy. Yes, you had treats and walks. Give me a couple minutes. We're almost done. Now, his early life, he was born in Bristol. He grew up in Leeds with his Irish mother, who worked for Citizens Advice Bureau. He never met his father, which a lot of these figures you'll see. Usually it's the mother that's missing or absent, though. He never met his father. His mother married a stepfather when he was 2, and they divorced 10 years later. He was reportedly a motor mechanic. His mother stated she lost control of her son when he was young. He was arrested twice for shoplifting. Hearst sees her as someone he would not tolerate. He sees her as someone who would not tolerate rebellion. She cut up his bondage trousers and heated one of his Sex Pistols vinyl records on the cooker to turn it into a fruit bowl. He says if she didn't like how I was dressed, she would quickly take me away from the bus stop. Wow. His art teacher pleaded for Horst to be allowed to enter the sixth form, where he took 2 A levels, achieving an E in art. I guess that's good. We're not seeing anything super creepy or mischievous. You're okay. And in July '88, in his second year at Goldsmiths College, Horst was the main organizer of an independent student exhibition. But we're not seeing anything too bad here. But I do find the location of Las Vegas to be, as usual, a little bit predictable. And let's see. The other source is Hype Beast, of course, which I found a little interesting. And they're the ones that show us this lovely picture here. Yep, we are almost done. And we're going to go outside again. I know, it's raining too. That's all I really have for you. But again, you have a headless occult figure who is based in marine life, but based on Pazuzu, which I find a little interesting and a little conflicting. I'm going to dig into that a little bit more. If we have to do a part 2 on this guy, we will. But I see we're probably going to do a whole mini series inside this series of this exhibition of his underwater marine life based shipwreck. I find it fascinating. And he's obviously very good. He's very talented. But again, we have a demonic figure being traversed around the UK and then around the US. It's a little predictable. It is a little, just another little tidbit, I think, that we can add into the strange that has been going on since 2017 specifically. And every year it seems to get exacerbated. And again, he does have his privates very much on display, which is why I'm covering them. Normally I'd say, oh, it's art, but the demonic characters, you see, this is a theme. And I'm going to take my dogs out now. Again, it's only been 15 minutes, so they've had their long walks. He is just fussing because he doesn't want to be cooped up in here. But he's been pretty naughty today. I don't mind saying that this is also his time out for being so naughty, and I had to throw a pair of Chucks away. I am super unhappy and displeased about that because he did something in them when I let him roam freely without my eyes on him. But I'm also going to go cook. We will look at this series more in our series looking at statues around the world. I also found a very interesting, fascinating one in Portland, which we're going to look at next if we don't come right back to this one. But you guys stay blessed. Please pray for me as I pray for you. Go out and do something for somebody else and be a blessing this day. Look more into this yourself if you think that you need to. I'm also going to look into any strange news stories that happened around the time that this was in Vegas and see if anything pops out at me. So if we have to get back to this, we will. Thank you for spending a few minutes with me while my little man was in timeout. We're going to go finish our day. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll do this again real soon.